today's topic, let us discuss about the ethers. So, what are the ethers? So, our ethers, so we have the different system of naming. We have the common system and the iota. So, first is, in common system of naming, ethers are simple and mixed. Ethers are named by naming the two groups bonded to oxygen followed by the word ether. So, clue, in naming our ether, usually ang oxygen naton ara sa tunga because it is bonded by two groups. Pagkakita gani naton, automatic na may oxygen ara sa tunga, ano na siya dayon? Ether na siya dayon. So, you just have to identify, of course, this one is methane, right? Ang CH3 naton. So, may duwa sa ka-CH3 nga attach. So, kay since ether siya, may siya dimethyl ether. Duwa ka methyl nga group. And then you have the ether. Also, for our ethyl methyl ether, you have ethyl, methyl, and then ether. So, mga examples na nato na. Next, sa IUPAC system, large alkyl group is taken as parent molecule and given the last name suffix. While the smaller alkyl group, along with oxygen, is used as a prefix and found and given the name alkoxy. Example, methoxy, ethoxy, propoxy. So, kung sa aton nga chemical formula, liwat, may ara sang sa oxygen sa tunga, ether, automatic. We have the different nga sang naming. Ang kagin nato, we have the common system, we have ether, ang iyang apunta, dimethyl ether. But for this one, for IUPAC, you have alkoxy. So, alkyl, nasa alkyl group plus the oxy. So, we have the methoxy, ethoxy, propoxy. So, example, we have methoxymethane, methoxymethane, methane for CH3, and then the methoxy, CH3, oxygen bonded. Next, we have the methoxyethane, and then ethoxyethane, methoxybenzene, because may benzene kita dire. Basta may oxy, automatic, that's an ether. So, we have the different preparations for our ethers, kung paano kita makakuha sa ethers. So, hindi siya malayo sa aton na alcohol because sa Williamson synthesis, conversion of alcohols into ether, therefore, our ethers are derived from alcohol. So, the reaction of primary alcohol with sodium gives an alkoxide. So, this is an example, plus our sodium. So, alkoxide when treated with our chloroforms, so, form siya sang ether naton. Next, we have the reaction of alkyl halide with dry silver oxide. So, we have the silver oxide, add siya, so, nag-form siya into another compound which is our ether man also. Next, paano natin makuha ang ether? Dehydration of alcohols. So, ethers can be prepared by heating excess of alcohol with concentrated sulfuric acid at 140 degrees Celsius. So, again, we have the ether na compound. So, what are the physical properties of ethers? Ethers are colorless, highly inflammable compounds of low boiling points. Their chemical inactivity and their ability to dissolve fats, oil, gums, and many more other organic compounds may make them very good solvent. So, very good solvent, it's because damo nga mga nga mga solute ang ma-dissolve sa aton nga solvent which is our ether. So, ethers are soluble in concentrated sulfuric acid. This property is used as a distinguishing test between ether and the saturated hydrocarbons. Then, the lower ethers acts as anesthetics, and ethers are lighter than water. So, next topic, we have our aldehydes. So, doon na lang sila, anong mga aldehydes natin. Aldehydes aldehydes contain carbonyl functional group. So, carbonyl naman saya. We have the carbon, double bond oxygen, then may naka-attach. So, the structural representation for a carbonyl group, amo na siya, tsura. So, carbon-oxygen, carbon-carbon, double bond differ in different major way. Carbon-oxygen bond is polar and carbon-to-carbon double bond is non-polar. So, the electronegativity of oxygen is 3.5 and is much greater than of carbon, which is 2.5. Hence, the carbon-oxygen double bond is polarized, the oxygen atom acquiring a fractional negative charge and the carbon atom acquiring a fractional positive charge. So, an aldehyde is a carbonyl containing organic compound in which the carbonyl carbon atom has at least one hydrogen atom directly attached. So, at least one hydrogen atom, and the remaining group attached to the carbonyl carbon atom can be hydrogen, an alkyl group, or a cycloalkyl group, or an aryl group. So, depende no kung anong nakakapik. Cyclic aldehydes are not possible. For an aldehyde carbonyl carbon atom to be part of a ring system, it would have to form two bonds to ring atoms, which would give it 5 bonds because may double bond gani, di ba, ang atom nga aldehyde, which is not possible for it to form a ring. Not unless kung ang duwa no ka-compound naton ano sila duwa mag-combine sila together. So, it can probably form a ring. So, aldehydes are related to alcohol in some manner that alkenes are related to alkanes. Removal of hydrogen atoms from each of two adjacent carbon atoms in an alkane produces alkene. So, in a like manner, removal of hydrogen atom from our OH or our hydroxyl group of an alcohol from the carbon atom to which the hydroxyl group is attached produces a carbonyl group. So, paano siya? Buinan sa isang duwak hydrogen, ang iagwa is aldehyde. Carbon, double bond sa oxygen. Tingin-kwa ang duwa naton ka hydrogen. So, paano mahimo ang aldehyde naton? Derive also from alcohol. Imbuinan lang siya sang duwa ka hydrogen. So, the physical properties of our aldehydes, the C1 and the C2 aldehydes, are gases at room temperature. The C3 through C11, straight-chain saturated aldehydes are liquids, and the higher aldehydes are solid. So, the presence of alkyl groups tends to lower both boiling points and melting points, as does the presence of unsaturated in the carbon chain. The boiling point of the aldehydes are intermediate between those of alcohols and alkanes of similar molecular mass. So, aldehydes have higher boiling points than alkanes because of dipole-dipole attraction between molecules. Carbonyl group polarity makes this dipole-dipole interaction possible. So, magka-dipole, you have two poles, di. So, aldehydes have lower boiling point than the corresponding alcohol because no hydrogen bonding occurs as it does with alcohol. Water molecule can hydrogen bond with aldehyde molecule. So, meaning, ang aton nga mga aldehydes, miscible siya with water, they can be mixed. So, the hydrogen bonding causes low molecular mass aldehydes to be water soluble. As the hydrocarbon portion get larger, the water solubility of aldehydes decreases. So, low molecular mass aldehydes have pungent, penetrating, unpleasant odors. Higher molecular mass aldehydes naman niya, above sa C8. Diba, remember, you have the C1, C2. So, mga ano sila, ang lower molecular, mga baho. Then, we have the higher molecular, are more fragrant, especially the benzaldehyde derivatives. So, these are the naturally occurring aldehydes, no? Usually, makita din natin sa aton ng mga food. So, aldehydes occur widely in nature. Naturally occurring aldehydes are of higher molecular masses, usually have pleasant odor and flavors, and are often used for these properties in consumer products, like perfume, air freshener, and the like. So, you have the vanillin, or the vanilla flavoring. So, kung nag-bake ka mo, no, you will be familiar with this. You have the benzaldehyde almond flavoring and the cinnamon flavoring. So, cinnamon bread na ton, yung cinnamon flavoring na. So, nomenclature for aldehyde for the naming. So, the IOPAC rules for naming aldehydes. Select as the parent carbon chain, the longest chain, parehas man gyapon, no? Basta mag-name kita ang pilido ya permi, amuna siya ang may longest chain. So for this, we have the 5. So parent chain niya si pentane, and then imbis nga i ang punta, i-islan siya naton sang al. Tanan nga aldehydes. So, determine the identity and location of any substituents and append this formation to front of the parent chain name. So, I have the example, 2-ethyl pentanal. Pentanal, 5. Then, sa ikaduwa naton nga carbon, nag-attach si ethyl. So, ethyl pentanal. 2-ethyl pentanal. So, usually, no, mga common in natin, yung mga aldehydes, we have the formaldehyde or commonly known as our formalin, no, gina-inject sa patay or gina-preserve sa mga tissue. We have the acetaldehyde and the propionaldehyde. So, next, we have the aromatic aldehydes are named as derivatives of benzaldehyde, the parent compound. So, benzene gidya ang parent compound because ano gani ang bata kagina, hindi possible for the aldehyde na mag-form siya sa ring not unless it is a compound of 2 aldehydes. So for this one, benzaldehyde ang parent niya gidya, nag-attach lang si aldehyde, no? So benzene, benzaldehyde. So paano natin makuha ang aton aldehyde? We have from the primary alcohol through oxidation, and then kung ang aldehyde i-reduce natin, mag-go back na siya sa alcohol.